Welcome to New Hope Arena for Northwest Suburban Conference boys hockey on a snowy night here in New Hope. It is the Totino Grace Eagles taking on the Armstrong Cooper Wings. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, on paper, this looks like a fairly even matchup. Both teams have been hovering around that 500 mark, trying to get some things going. They've had good nights and then some other nights not quite as good, but overall pretty solid play from both teams this year.
Pretty solid, but they need to be a little more consistent, and it comes down a lot to goaltending. Some nights they're good, some nights they're bad, and goaltenders can really do a trick for you and get you a win that you need, and they need it now for section seeding.
I don't think it's been uncommon for a lot of teams to be saying this, but injuries and illness have been a little bit of a factor too. The Wings are playing without two of their better guys who are out injured, and for Totino Grace, Coach Parkos was saying that, boy, the illness bug hit them. They had some nights where they were very short-handed, and it definitely affected play, and that's the part you kind of, you're hoping to get past that as you head down the stretch of the regular season.
Well, the other part of that, though, too, is that you give some kids some extra experience they weren't expecting, and you hope they step up, and it makes them better and improves them quite a bit so they can be a factor later on.
Let's talk key players to look for in tonight's contest, starting with the Eagles, and a guy who's certainly got a lot of talent. And this year they said they challenged him to get others involved a lot more, and boy, he's done it. Trey Peck is certainly one of the good players in this league.
Trey Peck, and he's done a heck of a job. 14 assists this year, and he's making his line mates a whole lot better. They've been a real potent line, but it's because he stepped up.
And for Armstrong Cooper, we're going to talk about one of their guys that's been in the program for quite a while and doing a good job this year, Luke Wiesjohn.
Well, he's a coach's kid, and he brings all that experience and knowledge along with him, and it's made him a better player, and he's finally stepped up and taken that next step in his abilities. 7
goals this year for Luke, and the Wings hoping to count on him and some of their other returners this year and the rest of it tonight. Stay tuned, it's Totino Grace and Armstrong Cooper coming up. Boys hockey from the Northwest Suburban Conference on CCX Sports.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back here to New Hope Arena. Some snow falling outside today, but not too long of a drive really for Grace to get over here. That's a good thing. So Eagles and Wings set to face off here this evening. Wings coming off a pretty good showing, a 4-2 win over Minneapolis in their last outing. And of course, when you go over the holiday, things get a little disjointed schedule-wise and everything too. Now kind of getting back into the swing of the 2 games a week or even 3 at times as well for these two teams. Totino Grace, a recent tie, now 0-0, not exciting, but Maple Grove tying them is something that, not a lot of teams in the last couple of years. It's not been a stellar year by Crimson standards, but obviously that's a team that took it to them pretty good a year ago.
Well, they've been hustling here. Get a good look at Gavin Kovrig.
Gets the start of net here tonight. Nice goals against, nice save percentage. So been solid between the pipes. Ryan Melshaw, big goalie, giving up a little over 3 goals a game and just a little bit under 90% on the save percentage. So we are set for battle here. Of course, the Wings in white, Totino Grace in gold. And we are underway as the Eagles able to chop it in. Logan Gaddy back to pick it up, and one of the top D-men for the Wings this year. Turnover forced though, and the Eagles trying to get a quick chance. Shot attempt was blocked, but here's another one fired wide of the mark there by Mason. Keep it alive in the offensive zone though, the Eagles do, and play down deep. Gaddy trying to ring it around and out. And pop back to the neutral zone, and Wings trying to gain control of it. There was Dawson Franke. Zipped over to the right wing side here. Tanner Cassidy then lost it. Good check thrown by Franke. Had an excellent season as the quarterback for the Falcons football team. Led them into the state tournament. Got a couple of football guys out here. Icing called here against Totino Grace. And we will bring it back into the Eagles' end just shy of a minute into the contest here at New Hope Arena.
So far, good tenacious forechecking by the Wings here. Kept it down in that gray zone for quite a bit there. They're holding tight on the blue line. We'll see what the Grace Eagles could do to break that off and get them defensive back off a little bit.
Reese, John, and Peck facing off. Peck able to win the draw for Grace. Down to A.J. Locke, and got tangled up in the linesman or official skate there for a moment. Eagles will break it out cleaner this time. Roger Morad dumping it in. Lofted on out by Brady Northrup. Ooh, that went off a skate. And the Wings do come up with it. Pass just got away though from Northrup. Plays it back in behind for Weiss John. Centering pass was deflected out of there. Kept in briefly, but now here comes Peck for Grace. Trey Peck putting it right out front, and there's a nice stop. It's a good opportunity in tight there for the Eagles as they put it onto the tape of Locke.
Nice slip inside there to get down low. He tried to deflect the puck, but in a little bit too tight.
Peck showing his vision though to be able to, the angle wasn't great. They were kind of on the same plane, but he still got it through. And now an opportunity for the Eagles coming back as Volker, and the stop made there by Melsha. So get another look at that earlier opportunity. Watch Peck putting it right down low, and you're right though, just not a lot of room, but still Melsha had to make a pretty good save on that.
He did. He had to follow through with the puck and get that leg out wide. You could see it slip by there, but did a nice job.
Interesting, and Coach Parkos from Grace saying we should be able to tell that about the first 5 shifts, what we're going to look like overall. He said, want to see energy immediately, want to see us playing the right way right from the get-go.
Well, so far I think he's got to be pretty happy.
Dump back into the wing zone. Gaddy picking it up here for Armstrong Cooper. Oh, and a turnover there right at the line. Here's a chance out front. Turnaround shot and a goal. Hay putting it in for the Eagles as they take advantage of the turnover. And Grace will strike first, less than 3 minutes in.
Well, they saw that leg pad pretty quick there, Jay, as he got it in front there, and he knew he just couldn't slide it through, so he lifted it up over the pad. But nice pass right there, and went upper shelf on that. Nice shot, nice goal. Nice pass right there.
Yeah, the turnover didn't help their cause at all as Liam Hamray get the assist. And so the Eagles strike first, taking advantage of that pass, picking it off at the blue line. And I like the way that Hay he was ready to go with that one right away. It didn't take a long time getting rid of it. Gus Hay will also get an assist. I thought it was maybe just Hamry picking it off, but either way.
Really nice check down there. Just a beautiful body. Took him off and disrupted the whole deal, and out they come. Nice job by the Wings.
Tate Gladney carrying it hard up the right wing here for AC. Putting it out front. A little deflection, and it's in. It's a goal. We are tied up as Mac Murphy got his stick on it. Gladney did a nice job maintaining possession and then putting that one out front, and it just goes to show if you're in the right spot and get your stick down, you got an opportunity.
Well, that's a good one. Grace has been pretty stingy about giving up goals, only a 2.42 goals against per game, but nice play right here. Shielded it, put it right out in front.
Well, looks like Franke is the one who was taking the congrats there, so it might have been 18 who got his stick on that one rather than they're both right there.
Yeah.
Looks like Franke will get it.
Nice goal. That's the way to go. Get to the net. Get to the net. Get to the net. Pays off for the Wings.
So both teams taking advantage of opportunities in close. So Gladney gets the well-deserved assist for that one, using his body to hold possession there and then putting it out front. And you could see on that replay why it was a tough one for the goalie too, because two different wings were coming toward the net. The first one didn't get a piece of it, but the second one did, and it fooled me as well, as Franke was the guy who got that stick on it to redirect it in. So even up at a goal apiece here. Centering pass, that one hits some skates. The Wings are able to come up with it as Wiesjan 2-on-2 on the rush here. Waiting, and there's a nice deflection and a blocker save there as Nick Anderson putting one on net after the good pass from Wiesjan. Here comes Peck. Peck will drop it back. And couldn't get around the D there, and Wings trying to counter. Lofted back in though, Melsha playing that bouncing puck. Noah Gorgos up with it. That one picked off at center, but it came right back to him, and then the Eagles take it back. Peck. They were going to be offside there, so he had to just leave that puck go. Flip back over and spinning back. That pass, though, deflecting off the skate of Volker. Ooh, turnover again here by the Wings. And they'll end up icing the puck here. Getting late in the shift, Gorgos wasn't going to take any chances. So seeing a couple times where they've maybe, instead of going with a shorter pass, trying to go a little too long with it and picked off. There's Danny Charleston, and he was upbeat about things, but at the same time he said, gosh, we're sure missing Lewis McCozak, probably their most talented overall player, had a thigh injury against Osseo, and then Hobie Skolstad, a good defenseman, broke his wrist or hurt his wrist earlier in the season against Rogers. He said not only are those two good players, but they were two of our guys who see the rink really well and everything, and if they can get them both back, it would certainly make their team a lot better.
It just opens your game up so much more when you get heady players that can see the ice well and move the puck well, and we're hoping they recover well and start feeling better.
Melsh making the save there. I remember McCozak kind of really standing out last year, and it sounds like he could be back, maybe a little bit sooner, whereas with Skolstad, it's more they're hoping late in the season, maybe for playoff time kind of thing, but you can't rush these things either, so battle for it. That's going to be a penalty coming up here. Interference will be the call. And so we'll see our first power play of the game as see who they're going to take off here. It looks like it will be Gus Hay who goes for interference. It looked like both guys, and Coach Parkos was saying the same. They both kind of went after it right together. Yeah, I don't know.
That was kind of a sketchy call there.
Yeah, I don't love that call.
And you can tell by his reaction, he ain't real happy about it.
I mean, it almost, you looked at it again, it could have been on both or neither, and I would say neither.
He was indicating a cross-check from behind, so... Well, you're right. It could have been.
And it's offside at the line. So the Wings go to the power play here.
Boy, you don't want to see that on your power play. You want to get in clean. Good stand-up by the Totino D there, though. Kind of force the issue real quick.
Eagles get a quick clear here. Gaddy back to pick it up. Gets himself moving up ice here to lead this power play rush. And go left wing and then ring it around. And it went too far, though. And here's a chance the other way. Short-handed rush for Grace. Deflected away before they could really get a chance at it, but still a little bit dangerous there as Gallagher had it just poke checked away.
Not enough oomph on the backhand there. Just got a little partial as it was bouncing puck.
Wiesjan forced wide there, and will have to hammer it in, and they want to change up their power play unit. And that allows the Eagles to get a quick kill, so not a great start to the power play here for AC.
Well, the Grace penalty kill forwards are really holding that blue line tough, really making it tough for hard entry. There we go again, nothing clean.
Gladney took a check as he got the puck in, but then couldn't reach it in the corner, and it's again quickly cleared out. Tanner Cassidy picking it up. Over to Wadkey. Another of those football guys. Gladney will dump it in deep here for AC. Down to 20 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Wings. They have done nothing with it so far.
Well, the Eagles have been real tight on D. They've got it pushed off to the outside. They use the boards to their advantage here. Finally a shot. Boy, that was a quick one.
Ooh, and then the rebound hits the side of the net as it seemed like Goodrick was a little bit slow to get back into position. Penalty is over. Eagles back to full strength. They easily kill that one off. And, you know, not that we're rooting one way or the other, but when you see a maybe sketchy penalty call, you kind of maybe say that was justice that there was no goal scored by the other team against it. Flipped on into the wing zone. Ooh, and it takes a little bit of a strange bounce, and Ulsha was alert and covered that puck up. So a face-off coming up in the Armstrong-Cooper zone. Couple of goals less than a minute apart. First Grace, and then AC answering on the goal by Franke.
Well, it's playing out to be a tight, close game here. I mean, that was kind of a surprise to get goals that quick, because neither of these teams are really scoring machines, but we'll see how this plays out the rest of the game here.
Eagles able to win the draw. Pack will swoop in to pick it up here for Totino Grace. Whoops, that one bounced over the defenseman's stick. Coming up that left wing, Daddy, a nice read to pick that one off. And dumped in by the Eagles. Daddy back to pick it up. Now working his way up ice, good skating defenseman. Plays it to himself down in the corner.
Boy, he's got good reach, really good reach.
Probably didn't want to be handling this much, but Nicholas Anderson trying to get it in, but the Eagles deny it. I like Coach Charleston said about Totino Grace, they're always hard to play against. They'll finish checks, they hustle. You never have a comfortable game against them. And that's a compliment for sure, right?
Oh, yeah, they're not leaving you any space to do anything. You got to make a decision quick, and a lot of times that'll just disrupt everything.
Pops free out in the circle and then played to center. And almost lost there. Franke getting back to it. Now the Eagles do wind up with it. And Gladney picks it off. Gladney putting it to the weak side. Oh, and it just went wide. Not sure how they missed the net there as Murphy was following up. Back down toward Murphy, plays it toward Gladney. This is a pretty big bruising line. Gladney and Franke have got some size and strength. And kept alive here as they'll whip it back across to Cassidy. That one sailing wide. Good shift here for AC. Kind of get the feeling that might be a line that's sort of an energizer kind of line for them. A team with a little, or a group with a little size, they'll hit you a little bit.
Well, they made the Grace Eagles get their heads up. That's for doggone sure. You can see it here. Nice play here. Just coming across, boy, just missed it on the far side.
Boy, they really had pretty open net, and I think in fairness to Murphy that the defender got in there and bothered that one enough, but they really had a lot of net to shoot at as Gavin was, slid way over to cover that near corner.
Mm-hmm.
Wings trying to generate some offense off the wall here again, played down deep. Good use of his body there for Grace by Tommy Heifert, who pitched Totino Grace to a state baseball championship in the spring.
It's funny how a lot of these hockey players tend to be multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that there's still room to play more than one. I mean, it's not easy sometimes schedule-wise. And played down deep. Wings had some, back-to-back pretty good shifts. Nice job at the blue line there by Gorgo standing up. And that one will be icing against Armstrong Cooper. 6:01 to go in the first. Totino Grace 1, Armstrong Cooper 1 here in the Northwest Suburban action. And kind of an interesting year in the Northwest Suburban. Some teams maybe that have been near the top aren't doing quite as well. Thinking Centennial, thinking Maple Grove.
Yep.
Still good teams definitely, but and Andover has a little bit of a drop off as well. Rogers looks to be probably the class of the league so far, but
well, with their population growth and stuff like that, they got probably a better amount of numbers than anybody, with maybe the exception of Maple Grove. Whoa!
Melsha juggling that one as it was deflected on the way in after the point shot there from Gallagher.
That's always a tough question for the defense there. Do I touch it or don't I? Do I let my goalie handle it or what, But sometimes it helps if the goalie just says, leave it.
Yeah, your natural inclination is to try and get your stick on it, but you're right. I mean, you don't want to be deflecting it past them or making it change direction.
Having played defense, it's kind of embarrassing when you score on your own goal.
Yeah, and the goalies tend not to like that, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, they will let you hear about it quite quickly, actually.
Race for the puck here, getting there first is the Eagles, Morad. Played back out to the point. Here's a long one. Melsha couldn't glove it cleanly, but then quickly pounced on it after it was thrown on net there by Waylon Black.
Sometimes the goalies, too, they'll let you know. They'll hit you on the back of your legs with their stick that you're getting in a little too close to them, and don't turn around and say anything. That's a big paddle they got.
Yeah, and it isn't just the stick part, but staying out of their line of vision best you can as well. Gladney has had a good first period so far, assisted on their goal. Knocked away, though, and the Eagles up with it. And that one deflected into the AC bench, so face-off coming up just outside the blue line with a little under 5 to go in this opening period. Been like we expected, pretty even so far. I mean, obviously the scoreboard is even, but just the play too.
Yeah.
Each has kind of had taken their turns of, maybe having the better of it a little bit.
Well, they each had equal time in the attack zone, so, but they're both playing pretty good defense. But looking at the stats and stuff, they both play pretty good defense. I'm surprised they scored so early.
The Eagles work it back to the point. Melsha stick save on that one. Cleared down the rink. Let's see if this will get there for icing. It will. It was slowing down quite a bit, but Heifert made it look good there, just kind of taking those slow, long strides.
What's it like to be 6 foot?
Yeah, and he's bigger than that, I think.
I think
talking with him in baseball.
Maybe about 6'3".
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
definitely taller than me. I know that. They ring it around. Eagles have done a pretty good job using their points, working into their offense. Thrown to the wall, but just kept in. Ooh, and that one hits traffic in front. Melsha struggling to see it.
he's getting screened quite a bit here. I think he's going to get a little irritated at that.
Turnaround try there by Mason. And they can't get it out. This one deflected a couple times on the way in after the backhander by Heifert thrown toward the net. And Melsha having to make a juggling catch of that one.
Yeah, those are good deflections. I'm not sure that backhand was going to be on net, but boy, it hit a couple sticks, and that'll drive a goalie absolutely crazy.
And it was kind of like a change-up too. We're talking about baseball because you're getting used to a certain speed, and all of a sudden it's kind of fluttering, coming in slower than you expect, which is not always a good thing for a goalie. Gaddy sending it around. Eagles again aggressive on the forecheck though. And taken away at neutral. Schauer stepping in to play it here for AC, but then lost it. Chance here for the Eagles after the turnover. Melsha kick save, but a big rebound. And Schauer back to pick it up. That one deflecting off a skate, but it'll still be icing as it hit Nicholas Anderson shy of the red line there. And so we'll come back into the Armstrong Cooper zone. Another look at that opportunity. A big rebound there. But it was Volker going to the net. It got by him.
Well, as much as he doesn't like to, he put it right back up in the slot. He knew that player was there.
Right.
And made a good play there. But if the center was there, that could have been ugly.
Yeah, and I think the one concern for Armstrong Cooper so far is they've had a few bad turnovers, including the one that led to that chance and the one that led to their goal, in fact, too. Oh, there's a nice quick pass, and stop on that one as they got it up to Wiesjohn. Boy, I like the way Anderson knew where that puck was going to go before it even got to him, and he put it right on the tape of Wiesjohn.
Yeah. Well, I like the way the Wings are breaking, Jay. They're really forcing that once they get it up to their own blue line, they're on their way. And I think they're having a better time in their neutral zone than Grace is.
Off the draw, Wings win it. Murphy a shot. Eagles do eventually get it out. Gladney deflecting that one out of midair. Now Peck swooping in to take it. Fires the shot into the Wings logo on Melsha's chest, and he'll get an offensive zone draw as they talk back and forth a little bit there. Peck isn't the biggest guy around, but he's got great hands. Smooth skater, played some juniors in British Columbia. It sounds like he will be again after this season.
That would make you a little feisty playing those Canadian guys. That's serious hockey for those Canadians.
Franke up with it there and missing Gladney. It rolls right toward the net though. Put a little bit of pressure there back on Gallagher coming back to get it. Then a turnover. Here's a shot. Rig the save on that one. Eagles not immune to a bad turnover or two as well. Little drop pass there, but Murphy got back to break it up. Now Franke puts on the brakes. Franke firing, and a save as he almost snuck it under the stick arm of Kovrig there.
Well, the Wings aren't afraid to wing the puck at the net. They're taking shots from whatever angle they can. Hopefully finding that short side. They might have seen him leaving some gaps there, Jay.
Yeah, and those are he put it in a tough spot, just where he couldn't quite get it with the blocker, but then almost up and under the arm.
Yep.
So face-off in the Eagles zone here with 1:48 to go here, and a good first period, 1-1 our score.
Well, we kind of thought this one would be close, nip and tuck, and so far it's played out that way.
Eagles control the draw. On to Locke. And that turned out to be almost like a pass for Grace. Here's a chance out front and a goal. Wow, that one turned into an easy opportunity for Ian Johnson in close. Not too dissimilar from their first goal where he just received it, kind of wasn't facing the net, but turned and just pumped it by, and it's a 2-1 lead for Grace.
Grace is doing a great job of getting that weak side forward right in front of the net when the puck's on the far side. And you can see him just standing there waiting, and nobody was near him. That far side D is slamming his stick like where I should have been there. Doggone, see, you can see the frustration there.
Totino Grace, even strength goal scored by number 22, Ian Johnson. Assist by number 19, Ian Hammer. And number 11, Nolan Mason. And the goal, 15.
Henry and Mason will get assists on the goal there for Johnson.
That's Johnson.
So a 2-1 TG lead.
15-28 of the first period.
Down under a minute to play now in this first period.
1 minute remaining.
Chopped ahead, and the race is on here. It's won by Cassidy. Plays it up to himself there and able to dump it on in, and will head off on a change. One thing that was fun to hear too, Dan, is both these coaches said, I really like this group. They're a fun group to work with. Kids who are working hard, coming to the rink, positive attitude, and that matters more than maybe what some 15, 16, 17-year-olds realize. I think probably all coaches have gone through a season where people are mad about playing time or this or that, or they don't get along with this line mate or that or whatever. They're not there looking to work hard every day, but both coaches were quick to volunteer that they really like their groups.
It makes it nice for a coaching season too, despite the record and stuff, and knowing their kids, and the one thing you want to do as a coach is make sure the kids get better, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
So we have reached the end of period number 1 here at New Hope Ice Arena, and Totino Grace taking a 2-1 lead late in the period here over Armstrong Cooper. We'll have first period highlights, then our second period of hockey coming up here on CCX Sports.
Shots on goal in the first period.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back here to New Hope Arena, Northwest Suburban Hockey on CCX Sports. Totino Grace leading Armstrong Cooper by a score of 2-1 after what was all in all a pretty even first period. We check out highlights from it, and both teams getting some action early on. In fact, Grace got a chance right away, but Melsha having to make a nice save right there. But then this time not able to do it as a turnover cost them. Quick interception, turnaround try there, and Oliver Hay pumping it in for the Eagles. 2:43 in, but then the answer came here. Gladney does a nice job possessing. Two guys coming toward it. They gave it to Frankie, 18, who was the second guy coming in for the Wings. And then they almost got another one here as Gladney put it back from Murphy, and it went just wide. A little bit of a shooting gallery on that possession, but not able to get anything in. And then another turnover costing the Wings. Nice pass out front, and the backhand swept in by Ian Johnson for Totino Grace. And that one came with about a minute and a half to go in the period. See the score, one goal edge for Grace, one shot edge for Grace. And they have committed the only penalty of the game so far. We will come back with more here of our coverage of Northwest Suburban Hockey on CCX Sports. Totino Grace leading Armstrong Cooper 2-1 after 1.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month, can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Top-Line member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back here to New Hope Arena. We are about set for period number 2 as the Eagles and Wings get set for the second period of play. And like we were kind of talking about, sort of like the whole season's been, some good things to like for sure for both of them in that first, and then a couple, certainly mistakes led to chances, and that's probably the biggest thing that, you got to maybe take the safer play or the play that's not going to give your opponent an opportunity, and a couple of those turnovers were rather costly.
I was intrigued to note that the two people that are not playing tonight, the first thing the coach said about them was that they're smart. They're smart hockey players, and that's key here at this level.
Off the draw, puck stays right in the circle. Eagles retreat and try and get things going here. Gallagher sending it ahead, intercepted by Gaddy, but they were going to be offside. Now Murphy carrying it in. Murphy took a check there. Now Gladney jumps in to pick it up. Gaddy firing. Ooh, and that one hopped away from Murphy there. Eagles trying to get it out, and now do. Mason carrying it. And the net comes off as a weak side winger, Gaddy, getting tied up there with Hamre. They'll bring it back out to center, so apparently kind of feeling that Grace was the cause of that net coming off.
Yeah, he pushed that D right into the net there.
Take it right outside the blue. Jab back to center and then thrown right back into the AC zone. Tanner Cassidy picking it up here for Armstrong Cooper. Long bank ahead there to Anderson. Turns and waits for some help. Now trying to float it over the weak side. They'll knock it down deep. Wiesjohn. Eagles able to come up with it though. Heifert sending it ahead and intercepted briefly there by Northrup, and Heifert will have to go back and get it again here for Grace. Back for Heifert. And that one picked off briefly. Northrup does come up with it now fully. Here's a shot by Wiesjohn, then the rebound out front. And goalie might have taken that one up high in the mask, and I think that's the reason for the stoppage here. Kind of making sure he's all right.
Now we'll get a good look at it here. Yeah, it did come up, took off his shoulder, went up under his mask. You could tell he was irritated by it. Ooh, yeah, right on it.
Right in the chin. And I think it kind of just briefly knocked his mask askew a little bit too, so you're quickly kind of panicking, like if you can't maybe see it quite the same way as you're used to. And intercepted there, and here's a shot whistled high and wide by Gus Hay. And I thought we might see an arm come up on that one, but no go.
I don't think they saw that one.
Yeah, maybe we did. Yeah, looks like there is going to be a penalty call, a trip. Oh, call going against Grace as Volker will pick it up. I don't think that was the one that I originally was thinking was going to be a penalty, but, or is it? Oh, right there, yeah, got him with the skate.
Yep. And justice is served. Coach is a little irritated about that, but sorry, Coach. It was the real deal.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he wasn't irritated with his player, too, a little bit. It didn't look like he was really protesting the call. Although I think he also might have been thinking that the Wings could have been penalized a little before that. There's a shot in the goal. Brady Northrup sneaking that one right through, and it didn't take long for the Wings to capitalize on the power play.
Boy, that was quick. Good puck movement, good quick turnaround transition there, and just popped it in. Nice play by the Wings.
Now, no doubt it was a good shot, but I think this is one that Gavin probably feels like he should have had. It looked like he had a pretty good look at it, but it sort of just went through him.
Oh, it came in, I think just got by the D. It screened him a little bit, and instead of seeing it from 30 feet out, he saw it from about 10 feet out.
I think you're right. And that second look at it kind of showed a little bit more that the D was possibly in his line of sight there, so he was late to react, and I think you're definitely right on that.
That's an Armstrong Cooper Wings power play goal, scored by number 27, junior Brady Northrup, his 7th of the season. Assist by number 34, senior Matt Murphy. Power play goal.
Murphy will get the assist on that goal. So Northrup lighting the lamp on the power play to even things up. Gorgo slammed on the brakes there. Eagles trying to force a turnover. Get it ahead to Gladney. His shot deflected up high. Franke knocking it back down deep. Anderson trying to break that one up, and now the Wings do get it back, but then intercepted in turn here by Black. And that'll be a penalty against Gotti of Armstrong Cooper as they'll take their first penalty of the game. That's a trip.
Well, now they're coming quick and furious. So
Not too difficult a call there as he missed the puck and got skates instead.
Yeah. Got to control that stick.
And you mentioned it, the long reach there, and I think he thought, he was in a good position to poke check that one, but got skates instead. That one knocked down, and then it just bounced away from Pack. Pack picking it up. Ooh, thrown on net, and that one bounced wide. Back up high with it. Eagles had a good looking setup on that power play, but then that pass intercepted and dumped down the rink.
Good long stick stretch by the D there, and that just disrupted the play.
It was interesting, Coach Charleston telling us that he had some guys that were kind of, mainly just penalty killers but that they would really take into that role and working hard at it. So kind of see what they can do here. Here's Pack walking into the circle, puts it weak side. And it was a fanned on by Gus Hay. Good setup there. Hay back for Pack. Pack spinning into the circle, then had it poke check, but they keep it in. Back for Peck in the circle. He kicks it back to the point, then across. And there's Melsha making a save there on Gus Hay. Pretty good puck movement by the Eagles.
Yeah, Hay was a little just frustrated there. He thought he saw an opening there, and he just didn't get it where he wanted it to go. On the short side pipe, it went into the pads.
So 38 seconds to go on the power play for Grace. Game now tied up at 2 apiece as AC got a power play goal early in this period. And they will get a nice clear there as good work by Northrup. Or I'm sorry, make that Wadkey. 37 instead of 27. On the rush, that shot sailing high, and then a big carom off the end boards. Back across. Here's a shot. Melsha saved. Then the rebound by Peck. Slung over the net. Pretty good shot from the point there to start it out by Hamre. And penalty time is now over. The Wings back to full strength, although I like some of what the Eagles did on that power play. They didn't get a goal, but they moved the puck well.
Just sets it up for the next one. You know, they got some chemistry going now.
Wings on the rush, and a backhander thrown on net. They tried to get it to Northrop. That was blocked, and then the follow-up try by Gorgos didn't have a whole lot on it, but did get it on net anyway, and they'll get an offensive zone draw. As you get a look at the Eagles, there's Melsha the save, and then Peck not able to put that one in the top corner, and then the Wings counter right here. Off the draw, Wiestron trying to get that puck back. Heifert stepping through that check. Banked ahead, but Gotti intercepting it. And then carried on, though, by Locke for the Eagles, trying to put it out front. Back down to the corner. There's a shot, and saved by Melsha. Wings breaking it out. Northrop putting it toward Wiestron, but intercepted there. End to end we go. Eagles wanted a penalty there, a little bit of a high hit. Long pass, intercepted. And that one deflecting away at center, and Northrop trying to get to it. Gaddy will slam it back out. Ooh, and a big collision at center ice. Eagles got the better of that one as Black stood his ground. Banked ahead and then thrown right back in. Melsha juggled it, and he will hang on and force a face-off here. 9:46 remaining in the second. We are even up at 2 goals apiece.
Well, both teams are just throwing rubber at the puck, and they're throwing it from all angles and from all distances there.
Yeah, it's been a kind of an end-to-end period. Not a lot of sustained, like, offensive zone time for either, but they're both, you know, in a good flow. But
well, the D's are shut down the good opportunities.
here's a chance from the slot. Oh, Melsha making a good save on Ian Johnson, who scored that goal late in the first for Totino Grace. All things considered, that might have been Melsha's best save of the night.
I would not argue that at all. I was just about to say that. My gosh. Good setup here. Gets his head up, gets a good shot. Got that glove up and made a quick save on it. Nice positioning by Melsha there.
Wings trying to break it out, but well read, and Rance jumping in to take it. Jake Rance getting that pass off, and then almost intercepted, but they get it back. Dump it to the corner anyway. Gladney fell. Been a couple good shifts in a row here by Totino Grace. Here's that shot attempted, deflects high over the net. They've kind of gained control of this one here these last couple minutes. And comes loose alongside the net. Wings struggling to break it out. Shot fake there, carried in, but then a block, and then Melsha had to make a save. Ooh, and then his defenseman knocked over onto him. Gorgos blocking that shot. Don't think we're going to have a penalty call there, as Hamry's a pretty big kid, and he kind of got the better of that little collision. It was a nice move. Now the first shot blocked, but then watch the second follow-up try there. Melsha the save, and then Hamry is kind of like bull in a china shop there.
Little frustration there, but nice saves there by the goalie. He just did a nice job and doesn't appreciate someone coming across the back of his legs, but thank God he's got those big pads on. No big deal. So I could say the physicality's picked up a little bit in this period, Jay.
Dumped in deep here. Eagles trying to break it out, but a nice hit thrown by Gaddy. And Gonna be a hand pass here, I believe, against Armstrong Cooper. So we'll come back into the wing zone here with 8:15 to go in this middle period.
See a little John going on between the Wings and the Eagles here as they set up for this face-off.
Yeah, you're right a moment ago. Each hit gets a little bigger. There's a little animosity building, I think. Not that it's been a dirty game or anything, but there's definitely been some bodies taken. Eagles get a chance here. Shot whistling high and wide, though, from Noah Osland. Slapped out of there. Eagles get it back. Now Peck. Little momentum into the offensive zone. Peck carries it in deep, going behind the net, and then a backhand try as he circled the cage there, and Melsha having to make a save for the Wings.
Melsha had to be on top of that because that came around that net pretty quick.
Yeah, there's some guys who are, when they're turning that corner, are a little ponderous. Peck is not one of them.
Little flea that just kind of keeps pecking away. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
The Eagles have been good on faceoffs here. They win another one. Well, you think about as the game goes on, how many more possessions or how many more chances that can create for you if you're consistently winning draws. Gladney shot blocked, and he tries to put it out front for Murphy. Gladney throwing a check into Heifert, and Gladney will come up with it. Heifert comes back and hits him. A couple of big number 23s. Murphy trying to get control of this one. Puts it out front for Gladney. Puck loose. He couldn't get it on net. Good recovery by Grace late there as Gladney was trying to knock that one home.
Good play by the D there to bounce it off the boards first instead of just trying to fling it out.
And that one deflects into the Wings bench. So first good opportunity in quite a while for the Wings. As good work by Murphy. Got it to Gladney, and then you see just one. If he had one more step, Gladney would have been able to put that one away. But the D recovered, and Gavin Kovrig is happy they did so. Or that one might have been in.
Got a good sense of focus in his eyes there as we got a good look at him on camera.
And, there's a near turnover as Wiesjohn blocked that one. These teams obviously have played a lot of close games, too, besides having fairly even records around the 500 mark. So you get used to playing in games where every shift's going to matter in that down the stretch in that third period.
And the other thing, too, we got a close game. Grace is 2-1 on the road. They're not afraid to go off their own rink and come into an opposing rink and play well.
Wings have a few extra players out there at the moment here.
Well, you ain't trying if you ain't stretching a little bit, right?
Wiesjohn will be ejected from the circle here. Franke stepping in. Pad save there as that one's thrown on net by Gorgos. Played ahead and just chipped away. Wings able to clear it to the wall. Murphy couldn't get it out though. Cassidy hit the skates of Gladney, and then Franke following up. Oops, passed backward after he'd crossed into the offensive zone already, so an offside there.
Boy, neither team has given the other one a lot of space. You don't see any real clean runs, once a pass is caught.
I had some guys jousting over there on the wing, I think, before that puck was dropped. Yeah, they're going to make Totino Grace change their face-off man because of it. And it's going to be an icing call. They didn't give him the benefit of the doubt there. Osland was right near the center line when he deflected that one in, but was just shy of it.
I'd hate to be that piece of gum right now. It's really getting gnawed over pretty good.
This time the Wings able to win the draw. Kicked out to the corner. John playing it back down deep. They get it to Peck, and now over to Osland. Down he goes as he collided with Northrup.
Boy, Northrup made a nice step up there, just took it off the game and totally turned it around.
Northrup trying to throw it out front for John, and Northrup took a hit as he got rid of that puck. John throwing a check. I think people are kind of mentally writing down numbers in their head when they see their teammate take a big hit. Here comes Peck to the net. Trey Peck going all the way in, and he hits the outside of the net. And he was knocked down as he got in just a little deep, and then Schauer will throw it down the rink, but it's right on net, so no icing obviously there. Wings trying not to be caught in a change, and Northrup jumps in and takes it. Northrup going to the net and went down. Wings fans wanted a penalty, but it looked like he might have kind of slipped on his own. Now end-to-end we go. Eagles had somebody wide open out front, Bolker, but couldn't get him the puck. Wings coming back. Murphy to Gladney.
Oh, good step up by the D there.
Gladney sails that shot up and over the net, and then it bounces all the way out. Gorgos back to pick it up here for AC. Avoids the first forechecker, but again, they struggle to get it out. Now Will, as Murphy picks it up. I think he needs a change here. He'll dump it in deep. Eagles countering here, and they will throw it in and head off on a change. Thrown back out, a big hit there. Back to the Wings line, Gotti picking it up. It's been a real different second period compared to the first, it seems like. A lot more end-to-end, but a lot more turnovers back and forth.
Well, the hitting has just picked up so much too, and then we'll see how much that takes out of the legs here for the third period here between the two.
Northrup getting it to Gotti, and they're offside. Couldn't quite hold up at the line here, so 3:20 to play in the second. Now they look at this opportunity for Grace's Peck going to the net, and just hit the outside of the net as he tried to drag it around and sneak it by Melsha, and then, yeah, they're just falling was Northrup.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of groans from the fans, but I thought, unless I saw that wrong, I think it was really, he went down on the zone. We got a injured wing player here, obviously. Hate to see that.
Yeah, it looked like he strained his knee there, got kind of caught in the double blade catch with the stick. Oh, that hurts. Eesh.
Jacob Pangarakis heading off.
Oh, he's got the hockey player's mentality. They'll get me a Band-Aid and put me back out there, coach. By gosh.
Wings win the draw here. Pass up the middle, though, goes awry, and the Eagles take it. Gallagher carrying it. He takes a check. Eagles able to free it up briefly, but then Wiesjohn comes in to take it. He took a solid hit. Hamre turns and fires. Melsha, that one kind of snuck up on him.
They got a Grace player right in his traps, boy, right in front.
Eagles pressing the attack here. Another shot on Melsha. This time will hang on, and then a little battle out front again. And we're pretty much after every whistle now starting to see a little bit hitting back and forth.
Well, you see
Clutch 25 in white there. Oh yeah, he fell awkwardly with his ankle kind of caught underneath him.
Yep. That skate blade caught. Well, sometimes when they dig in, they just get real solid and they don't come loose real easy. That's where ligaments kind of get in the way.
Yeah, you're really better off if your foot, kind of gives way and slides out of there. But
yep.
Wings trying to break it out. Peck intercepts it though. Oh, and then we're gonna have a penalty against Totino Grace as a caddy was plastered into the wall there.
Oh, they're gonna throw him out.
Osland. See if this is going to be a major then and game misconduct. Or is it just for the rest of this period? Well,
I don't know. 2:14 left. They'd keep him on. We'll see if he hit him from behind. Oh. Got up high on that with the stick into the back of the neck. That's not going to be taken well by the referees, obviously.
Yeah, it is going to be a major.
Yeah. So this gives a little free rein to Grace now. They can score as many goals as they want to, and they're going to stay in that power play.
Or Armstrong Cooper.
I'm sorry, Armstrong Cooper, my fault. Thank you, Jay. Got my guest mixed up with my home.
Aiden Flynn will serve the. So Armstrong Cooper, a golden opportunity to take the lead.
Totino Grace has been assessed a 5-minute major in a game misconduct number 17 for checking from behind.
Yeah, he does get a major in game misconduct. So we were mentioning the hitting had been picking up, and that one went over the line according to the officials there. There's a save, and Wings with Northrop trying to keep it in and got it down deep to the corner.
Boy, Northrop's got really quick hands. He's really done a nice job of holding that line.
Gaddy back to Northrop. He takes a hit. Wings fans wanted another penalty, not going to get it. Gaddy picking it up here for Armstrong Cooper. 1:25 to go here in the second. Eagles would be shorthanded for another 4 minutes. Across, but a swing and a miss at that one by Wadke. Back around it comes. Northrop lost the handle briefly, but then gets it to Franke. Under a minute to play now in the period. There's a nice shot block for the Eagles by Gus Hay. Northrop giving it back up top here to Cassidy. Not a lot of good looks at the net here so far. They're keeping possession, but now here's a shot. Stick save to the corner. Northrop back into the circle. Cassidy from the top. Looking for the tip was Franke. .20 seconds to go in the period. Northrop back up with it, sliding it across. Wiestron just off the bench, firing that one knocked down. Comes back to Wiestron. He'll turn and shoot, and a nice block there
really
by
nice
Gus Hay. And that's going to eat up the remainder of the time. AC will still have a power play for another 2:46, though. Heading into the third, we are even up at 2 goals apiece. Armstrong Cooper getting the only goal of the second on a power play to tie it up. Good third period straight ahead here on CCX. It's 2-2, the Wings and the Eagles.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Top Line Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back here to New Hope Arena as Totino Grace and Armstrong Cooper are tied up at 2 apiece after 2 periods here tonight in Northwest Suburban boys hockey. As we check out highlights from that middle period of play, it was kind of interesting because the Wings got the only goal of the period, although it seemed like Grace probably outplayed them a little bit more, I think, in the second than they did the first. Get a look, here's the goal. Northrop shooting and sneaking that one through on a power play early in the period. Eagles had a stretch where they were pretty much in command. Pack just missing the net there on that rebound. And they get a good opportunity here. First shot blocked and then a save by Melsha. And things get a little rough out front. Wings a good chance here. Gladney trying to backhand it in, but the defense recovered just in time. And then watch Peck go to the net here and just ran out of room and hit the outside of the net with that attempt. As you see, again, the shots, a slight edge for Totino Grace and a slight edge in chances. The one big news, though, of course, is they took a 5-minute checking from behind and game misconduct to Osland, and that still has 2:46 to go heading into the third period. So a great chance still for Armstrong Cooper, although they didn't really do a lot with the first part of that power play at the end of the second period. We'll see if they can get it going here to begin the third, or if Grace can kill it off. 2-2 hockey game here, and 1 period to go at the venerable New Hope Arena.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
2-2 as we get set for the start of the third period here. Again, Armstrong Cooper is on a power play. A major penalty taken late in the second by Totino Grace, so 2:46 to go in a power play. Sometimes it's hard to be sharp, though, right when the period begins with the power play, too, so that might work to Totino's advantage a little bit. Northrop bringing it up ice here for the Wings. They look to get their power play set up. John coming back the other way and then across for Northrop. Murphy giving it up. They'll keep it moving here. Gaddy at the top. Into the circle. Here's a quick shot. Save. And then the lost sight of that rebound. Follow-up try sails high and wide from Northrop.
Boy, Northrop had an open net and the goalie had no idea where it was.
Gaddy playing it down deep. Eagles trying desperately to get it out, and they will do so. Gaddy picking it up. Grace trying to hurriedly change. Now the Wings will change as well. Logan Gaddy getting set, leaving it for Gladney here to bring up ice. Gladney circling the net. Now he'll work it to the point. He wanted a little give and go. Cassidy swings it around. That shot hit a skate in front and then quickly shoveled to the line, but not out. And then Gladney a hack and a miss. Franke took a big hit from Heifert. Heifert trying to pin that puck in there and eat up some more valuable time. Under a minute to go in the power play, and the Eagles able to get it out.
Boy, great play by Heifert there. He just tore a lot of time off that 10-15 seconds.
Eagles got it, but couldn't quite get it all the way down the rink. Northrup was all alone as he brought it in, so he brings it behind for Murphy. It hits the back of the net. Eagles again get to it and able to get the clear. Only a half minute to go in the 5-minute power play. Wings a couple moments ago got a couple pretty good chances, but overall Eagles have done a good job on the kill. Gaddy carrying it in deep. Leaving it for Wiesjohn. That one going wide of the net. Northrup picking it up. Back to Gaddy up top. And Northrup looking across to Wiesjohn. It was a little behind him. Wiesjohn controlling here. Penalty is over. Eagles back to full strength. Gaddy able to keep this one in though. And then intercepted and dumped down. This one's going to come on net though, so not icing. Ahead toward Murphy, it deflects away. Now Totino Grace has to get back into the regular shifts and, trying to score again after fighting off that whole 5-minute penalty. Pass misses everyone there. Lock back to get it for Grace, around to Heifert. Knocked free, but recovered there. Morad got it in, but then dumped right back out as Locke will pick it up. Back across to Heifert. Heifert and Gladney meeting up again. As I said, a couple of big guys wearing 23s. Wings able to get it to center. Gladney taking a check from Heifert again. And dump back into the AC zone.
Well, as he said, it's gotten a lot more physical as the game's gone on. Now they're starting to look for bodies rather than the puck, and this is probably going to only increase here in the third period.
Here's Peck shooting, and Melsha making a save on that one. Yeah, the discipline part of it's going to be really big here. I mean, nothing wrong with hitting and taking the body, but staying out of the box is going to be key.
Well, if you get whacked, you get whacked. Let it go. Don't try to retaliate. That's going to be the big key. Nice move by Peck here. Jeepers, grabbing him. Here it is. Oh, I'm going to take it away from you again. Boy, he's quick.
Eagles win the draw clean, and the shot knocked down by Northrup. Boy, if he had been able to get that by the defenseman, might have had a chance for a breakaway the other direction. Kept in nicely here, and that high shot sails over the net after the interception by by Volker. Murphy getting it ahead to neutral. Eagles will look to counter quickly here. Long one thrown in on Melsha. It's kind of caught up in his midsection, so he will hang on, force a draw. 12:10 to go here in the third. We remain tied up at 2 goals apiece. It was 2-1 Grace after one. Armstrong Cooper, a power play goal early in the second, the only scoring in that middle frame, and that's where we still sit at 2-2.
Nice, pretty goal there by the Eagles on that power play. Did a nice job. Right now, it's going right down to the wire. I think whoever makes the first mistake, Jay, is gonna pay.
It was interesting kind of looking for a trend after that. They killed off that 5-minute major. Would that give Grace momentum? And maybe to a certain degree it has, but I don't think either side has, again, had any domination here of the third so far.
No.
Wings did get a couple of decent chances on the power play, but overall, I thought the Eagles handled it pretty well.
I don't think it was anything that brought the crowd to his feet at any time during that power play.
No. Franke picking it up, throws it out front. He tried to get it across. Gladney was all alone, but he got it in deep enough that it hit the goaltender. And chipped back ahead into the wing zone. Eagles are changing as it's picked up there by Gorgos. And now Northrup carrying it for Armstrong. Cooper makes a move right to the net, but the defenseman recovered. He got a little bit of a step there on Black. Now coming back the other direction was Morad, but knocked away from him as he was surrounded.
Really good back checking there by Armstrong. Armstrong Cooper.
Northrup throwing a hit there, and again the bodies bouncing around off each other. Thrown in there. Melsha will drop it for Cassidy. Banking it out towards center. Eagles looking to go back the other direction, and a little move to the net here.
Ooh.
Shot and a goal.
Oh,
what a
move.
beauty by Mason. Did a good job of keeping the puck out at arm's length so they couldn't poke it away, and then just snapped it by Melsha.
Boy, just a nice move. Great hands there. And it had enough room and enough chutzpah to get it right up into the net. Nice play. You'll see a good move here. Right there. And then he finds that upper net. Beautiful play.
Yeah, that last little, he did a great job protecting, kind of passing it to himself almost there around the D. Now, as a defenseman, you didn't really like the way they played that especially well, but you still give a lot of credit to Mason. Great move.
You saw there's a lot of space between them. They got a little too far apart.
Totino Grace even strength goals scored by number 11, Nolan Mason. Assist by number 12, Jake Rance. And number 7, Trey Peck.
Rance and Peck will get the assist on Mason's goal. 6:43 the time, 3-2, Totino Grace.
6:42 in the third.
We got a penalty coming, I believe. Yes. No. I thought I saw the hand go up, but I was mistaken.
Wiesjohn out to take the draw here against Gus Hay. Not done cleanly, we will do it again. Toss both centers out there, looks like. Eagles gain control after the draw. Mason, who just scored that beautiful goal, and misses everyone with that one. We'll see if it gets there. Nope, not going to be icing. They ruled that he could have gotten up to that puck. Long pass ahead, looking for Anderson. Wiesjohn will circle back to gather for the Wings. Knocked away at center and then chipped to the Eagles line, and able to gain control back again, and Mason dumps it in as he takes it hit. Cassidy gets lit up a little bit there by Hamre, who's definitely been one of the more physical guys on the rink tonight, 19 in gold. Pack on the move. And a backhander lifted over the net by Hamre. Peck. Ooh, nice move to the middle, and then that one knocked down. Knocked away from Gladney as he tried to start a rush back the other way. Hammered up over the net. And back to neutral, or Peck will pick it up. Dumped in for Grace there by Oliver Hay, who had the first goal of the night and his first career goal. .8:20 to go here. Grace leading it by a goal at 3-2. Peck. Murphy pursuing him. Peck goes to the net, and Melsha had to make a stop. Ooh, big rebound. Melsha made the save, and then it's still laying loose out front. And finally they'll come back to him there. Eagles have started to play pretty well here down this stretch of the third.
They're getting good shots, and they're going to the net, Jay. They're getting more bodies there and putting pressure on the Wings down tight.
Wiesjohn and Mason facing off here in the wing zone. Wiesjohn picking it up over to Gaddy. Still a lot of time to go here for the Wings, but You kind of can't help but feel that they missed a big opportunity on that major.
Ooh.
Too far here. Morad can't track it down.
Well, you didn't see a real momentum shift as far as domination on one side, but they got that goal that they needed. They snuck one through.
Face-offs key here down the stretch, and overall, I mean, we don't have the actual numbers, but I'd say certainly the Eagles have had the better of face-offs overall on the night. They'll win this one also. Knocked away, and the Wings looking to come back to it on the counter. Follow-up shot there, but blocked. Cassidy sending it ahead. Offside there against the Wings.
Still had one foot stuck in.
A little bit of a choppy, a lot of whistles of late here, which I guess in a way, if you're the team that's ahead, that maybe favors, although it felt like the Eagles kind of had some momentum. I think they would like to keep the clock going and have some good shifts in a row here.
Well, they just keep it down in the Armstrong Cooper end. This is what they don't want here.
Shot sailing up high over the net. Wiesjohn trying to protect that puck and get something going off the wall there. But Peck comes in to grab it here for Grace. Peck hits the line. Out front, pad save Melsha, and then the rebound kick to the corner as Morad took that shot. And they try to spring Anderson back the other way. Pass over to Peck, got rid of it in a hurry as he was about to get hit. Ooh, player knocked into the bench. Let's see, is this going to be a penalty here? It is, a high stick. And looks like they're going to take Wiesjohn off for Armstrong Cooper. I think they thought maybe the penalty was going to go the other way. Right here's Wiesjohn coming in. Oh yeah, he actually went into the bench, but it was he coming in a little high there.
High. Yeah, got the elbow up a little bit.
I kind of saw the tail end of it and saw a Wings player almost falling into the bench. I thought it was the other way, but.
Isn't TV great, Jay?
Yeah.
Just so you could catch all the.
You get a lot better look second time around sometimes. I know John Jacobson and I joke about that sometimes, like, when we're doing these tournaments, when he's doing play-by-play and I'm down on the corner or vice versa, sometimes you see it so differently from behind the net than you do from up here even too.
Absolutely.
So great opportunity here for Totino Grace. It's a 3-2 lead for the Eagles, and they have a power play here. Try to put this one away. Shot blocked, follow-up throw by Peck, and Melsha with a nice glove save on that one. Sometimes those second opportunities can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Critical kill here. Critical kill for the Wings. With 5:46 left to go. A 2-goal lead's going to be awful hard to overcome.
Wadkey and Peck will face off. Peck winning it. Play it around behind there, looking for Morad. Gets it back here in the circle. Hamre swings it across. They'll leave it for Peck. High shot sails over the net, then the rebound knocked to the corner. Running it around. I guess the nice thing too for Grace here is even if you don't score, you're eating up 2 more valuable minutes off this clock with a 1-goal lead.
Oh yeah. There isn't much threat of the Wings scoring a goal right here.
Hamre gets the return pass, and that one was not close. And then it hops away. Wadkey trying to free it up. Instead, they get it ahead. It bounced away from Morad. Now he gets a shot and he scores! With 16 to go in the power play, that one looked somewhat harmless coming up ice, but it turned out to be anything but. And Morad will get the goal here for Totino Grace.
Well, just nice reach there, nice puck control as he got through, and just found that short side upper corner. Nice play, nice shot. Get a chance to look at it here as it comes across. Good move there, stayed on it. Then he got enough on it to get it up inside. Oh, went underneath the armpit.
He kind of got caught looking at the puck and not taking the body there a little bit.
Yeah.
Turnaround try here, and Melcha the save. Peck and Ian Johnson get the assist on Morad's goal, so a power play goal makes it 4-2 Totino Grace.
Power play goal, Morad from Peck and Johnson, 12-16 in the third.
Now, if this stays this way, I think they're going to pull their goalie a little bit earlier than we normally see here with the 2-goal deficit.
Drop back to Weiss. John sliding it across. And just knocked away. Ooh, and then a collision. Two wings is Gotti and Shower. Looks like everybody's all right. I was going to say, too, for the Wings, let's hope they feel like we're still close enough to come back and we don't start thinking about retaliation. You know what? Getting out of hand late in the game, because there's definitely been a physical contest. Knocked away. Cassidy pushing it back into the Eagles zone here. Under 4 minutes to play now, and Grace possessing a 2-goal lead. Ahead it comes to Peck. And that shot blocked. He gets it right back, though. Peck trying to go to the net there. Too many bodies in the way, though. Murphy leading the rush back for Armstrong Cooper. He will dump it in deep. Comes to Gladney in the corner, and they bring it up top. Gorgo's shot. Hit a shin pad. Eagles get it back to center. And then brought ahead. Grace, pretty smart job of protecting the lead right now.
Not getting overextended, getting it out in the neutral zone when they can, getting it deep when they can.
Gallagher sliding it across. Long pass ahead. Morad, who scored that goal a moment ago, missed the net with that one.
He's feeling lucky on that, Jay. That's why he took the shot.
Gallagher dumping it back in. Back for Gaddy. Peck pursuing him. Knocked away. Now Weisjohn coming up the middle. And kept alive by Northrup, and Weisjohn is hurt. And he is not getting up. I'm not so sure he maybe didn't take one like in the neck or under the mask.
Chin.
Yeah.
Under the chin there.
I think he's barking or trying to, I don't know, maybe he's struggling to talk, but I think feeling that there should have been a penalty. Let's see if where he gets hit here. Oh, yeah. Stick came up, right? Yeah, that should have been a high stick.
It should have been.
Ooh, ouch. You hope it was more chin than throat, but it didn't feel good either way. And that was one of those that, you know, well, at the same time, I certainly don't think it was intentional. It should have been a penalty.
That was just a straight competitive effort. Got away from him a little bit.
So 2:10 to go here in the third. See if Armstrong Cooper might be considering using a timeout here. Doesn't look like it. Also have not pulled their goalie yet. Off the draw, we'll get another face-off. Surprised at all that Melcha isn't being lifted right now, Dan?
Very surprised right now, actually. I would have lifted him about 40 seconds ago.
Especially with the offensive zone draw here. I am surprised with it. If it was a 1-goal game, no, but with 2. Well, good news, Wiesjohn is right back out there, so although that one didn't feel too great under the chin, he is well enough to be playing anyway.
He's a hockey player. My God, I like that kid.
Now, my first concern was, did he maybe get hit in the throat?
Yeah.
But it looked like it was a little more in the chin. And they turn it over, and looking out front, trying to get the tip there was Anderson.
That was as good an opportunity as they've had in a long time. Yeah, I'm really surprised that the Wings goalie's still in play.
Anderson peeling off the wall here. Northrup taking a check. Get it out to center. That one blocked down. Anderson circling back, picks it up here for the Wings as he takes a check. We've said that a few times tonight. There have been plenty of hits. And going to get a penalty on Heifert as Wiesjohn was in forechecking, and Heifert will go for a trip.
All right, with this situation now, let's see if that goalie gets pulled. Okay, he's calling a time. Coach Charleston's calling a timeout.
Oh, I'm not so sure Wiesjohn didn't trip himself there. It looked like on that replay that his 2 skates kind of clicked together there. I don't know if Heifert had any, maybe a little jab with the stick there to make it happen, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe the stick did kind of get caught in there a little bit. And it certainly looked like a trip too. So, and he didn't really protest.
Line penalty says to Totino Grace, number 23, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty.
Well, those sticks, the refs will always call it if there's even a question of a doubt.
They might have felt like possibly they owed Wiesjohn one too, because they didn't see the high stick a couple minutes earlier.
Yeah. So
in any case, the Wings get a power play out of it with 1:15 to go. They are down 2, but presumably will be a 6-on-4 advantage if they have Melcha. At least at the moment, he is still standing on the ice, which would be more than a little surprising at this point if that's the case, if he is still in there. But puck awaiting a face-off there. See the Wings logo there, and it's a good opportunity to coach situations for both teams here, whether you're the team that's ahead or the team that's behind. You think about how many playoff games come down to key face-offs late in the third period. And
especially when you're a man down too, you've got to be able to really control that puck. You don't want the other team to get control and start moving it around to create an opening.
Yeah, and you always kind of feel like you don't necessarily have to win the face-off outright, but just don't lose it badly. Don't lose it clean.
Tie it up as much as possible.
Wings do take the draw, and they do have their goalie pulled as well as we expected. 6-on-4 advantage here. Daddy looking into the circle. It bounced away from Anderson, and the Eagles able to get it clear, but only to neutral. And they're going to say played by a high stick there. So that doesn't help AC's cause. They're going to have to bring Melcha back in, at least for the moment, because the face-off in their zone.
Boy, lost a lot of valuable time there. Well, okay.
And just slapped to the corner there by the Eagles. Smart play. Under a minute to play now. 4-2 lead for Totino Grace. Armstrong Cooper on a power play, and they again pull their goalie. Here comes Gaddy. Carries it all the way around the horn, then shoots it wide. Northrup playing it back. Back down to Murphy and then Northrup. Here's Wiesjohn out top. Firing. Oh, that one caroming into the corner. I'm not sure if it might have hit the pipe or just off the goalie.
I think it went off the goalie. I heard the pad thump.
Weisjohn shooting again. That one never made it quite to the net. Under a half minute to play now.
Come on, move it.
And it came right back at Gotti as he passed it out front. They go back the other direction. Now here's the shot. That one sailing over the net from Anderson. 10 seconds to go. Weisjohn. That one deflects out front. Puck loose. Eagles clear it to the wall, and then the net is off as Body's crashing and going to bring the faceoff outside the zone. Only 4.4 to go in the game. And looks like the Wings are going to run out of time here.
There's a hard scrabble fight here in this game. It's been entertaining to watch. It hasn't been real clean, but it's had its share of physicality, and I think both teams put out really good efforts here.
So perhaps one last face-off here. The Eagles win it, and that is going to do it for tonight's game. So Totino Grace getting the only 2 goals in the third, breaking what was a 2-2 tie as Mason and Morad score for them, and they pull out the victory 4-2. And I thought they got stronger as the game went on. This felt like a deserved win for them based on how they played the second half of the game.
I would agree. I think they played much better. They got down deep. They started winning a lot of more of the one-on-one battles, and as you're talking about the face-offs too, they took control there.
So congratulations to the Eagles. Thanks to both coaches for their help. Always enjoy talking to each of these guys here, and best of luck the rest of the season for both these squads as well. Once again, your final score here tonight at New Hope is Totino Grace 4, Armstrong Cooper 2. For Dan Ficken and the rest of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from New Hope Ice Arena.